Hi, and welcome to another video from wptoolkit.com. Today I want to take a look at cloning or moving a WordPress site from one domain or folder to another. Now, whether you're migrating a site from one host to a new one, or rolling out an updated site from a local host testing and development environment, or cloning a site to a different domain, or just moving a site to a different folder, you need to be able to get it done quickly and without hiccups to minimize the downtime for your site and indeed to minimize the use of your own precious time. Now, the one plugin that I invariably use for such tasks is called Backup Buddy. It's by far the most reliable and robust plugin I've found for moving, migrating or cloning a site by a long stretch. Now, it is a paid plugin and costs $100 per year for unlimited sites, but in a moment I'll tell you how you can get it for free. First though, let's actually have a look at the plugin so you can see how easy it is to use to clone or migrate a WordPress site. So here's the actual domain and site that I'm going to be moving. It's an old test site of mine that is currently on a standalone HostGator baby hosting plan that I've used for testing purposes in the past, and I'm going to be moving it to one of my other hosting accounts to save some cash. Okay, the first step we need to do obviously is to install the Backup Buddy plugin and then run a full backup from the backup option here. It does need to be a full backup, so click on the button for complete backup. That will then give you the option to download this and save a copy locally. How long the backup takes and how big the file is obviously will depend on the size of your site itself, the size of your full installation. Okay, but it is pretty quick. This is 20 megabytes in total for the backup, and it took under a minute to actually get the backup done. Once the backup's done and downloaded to your local hard disk, we need to go across to restore migrate, and then we need to download the import buddy.php file, and again store a copy of that locally on your hard disk because we'll be using those on the new site or in the new folder to actually migrate the site for us. As an extra step, I would also recommend that you download the wp-config.php file, either using FTP or cPanel File Manager, and keep a copy of that locally as well for this site, because that has the MySQL database information, the name, the username and the password in it. So if you need that for any reason, you've got it and saved it. So download that file and rename the file appending the name of your site so you know what it's for. Okay, now I'm going to pause the recording of this video while I update the name servers for this domain to the name servers for the new server, and then I'll wait for those to resolve so that we're actually up on the new server and I can show you on the new server the full migration of this domain. So I shall be back in a moment. Okay, several hours later, in fact the next day, the name servers have now resolved. The site is, the domain is on a new server. If we go to the actual domain, you can see there's the basic empty file there. There's nothing there at the moment. I've simply set up the new domain on my other server and added a MySQL database in cPanel. If you need to know how to do that, just Google it or search on YouTube. There's plenty of videos showing you how to add a new MySQL database to your account in cPanel. I've also uploaded both the backup of the site itself and the import buddy.php file, so I can now go back to my domain and actually type in or copy and paste in the domain name plus /import buddy.php, which will run our import program. So let's actually bring that up. It'll take a second or two to come up. And the first thing it will do is ask me to authenticate with my password from the backup itself. This is to make sure that anybody else who happens to hit your site as you're doing this process can't actually run it for you. So let's pop in a password and click on authenticate. And again, I'll pause the video while it comes to the next stage. And it comes up with step 1 where it's actually found the backup that I've already uploaded. You can actually use this here to upload it if you're not used to uploading something with cPanel or if the file's too big for some reason. But as I said, I've already uploaded it to save some time. It's already found and sort of highlighted, selected that particular one. So all I need to do is click on restore backup and it will start running through that. And again, I'll pause the video and come back when step 2 comes up. It took probably less than 30 seconds there to come up with step 3 or stage 3. Now I'm going to blank or fuzz out some of these details because it's my live site. I don't want you seeing my password or full database information. It does pick up your old database information from the backup that we're restoring, and you can use exactly the same information if you want, but I've created a new database, so I'm going to pause the video while I pop in the information for my new database, the new name, because I've changed the name on it, and again, these will be fuzzed out because I don't want you knowing my password and database username. And before I go on to the next step, the advanced options does allow you to specify whether there are any individual database tables that you don't want to bring forward, anything that you're not using anymore. For instance, I'm no longer using another related post plugin, so I could actually remove that and not bring that across to the new site. But I'm going to leave everything ticked because I don't want to cause any problems, so I'm just going to bring it all across as is, and that's usually the easiest, simplest way of doing things. Okay, let's click on next step and go through to step 4. Okay, that all ran through correctly and took probably about a minute and a half. This site's only about 20 megabyte backup, so it's not a massive one. If you do get any errors, have a look through the error messages. There should be clues in there as to what's gone wrong and why. And if you have any problems with that, the most likely cause of any errors is something to do with the settings on your host. So take a copy of the error log and talk to support for your web host and see if they can work out what you need to do to change to get it to work correctly. Again, there are some advanced options available. You shouldn't really need to play with those unless you know exactly what you're doing. So leave those as they are and just click on next step and it'll run through, and I'll pause again while this, it's already finished. Obviously a very quick step that I didn't need to pause for. Okay, the next step is to actually verify that the domain is up and running and looking like our previous site. So let's open that up in a new window, and there we go. We have moved this site completely from one host to another using the Backup Buddy migrate feature. Very, very quick, very, very easy to do. You should now go through and check to make sure that the posts resolve correctly. If they don't, it's most likely that you'll need to go in and change your permalinks to update them within your admin within WordPress. But providing it is all correct, you then need to go and finish the cleanup, which will basically delete those files because you don't want them remaining on your site in case someone else gets hold of them and tries to rerun them or something like that. Okay, so the final step, click on finish cleanup and it will remove the unwanted files. And that only takes a few seconds to run and we're all done. So we can go back to our blog, we can log in and get on with using our blog on a new host or in a subfolder on another site, wherever you've migrated it to. So you can see how easy it is to move a site, to migrate a site, to clone a site with the right tool, which is, in this case, Backup Buddy. Now, as mentioned earlier, Backup Buddy is a paid plugin costing around $100 a year for unlimited sites. But here's the good news. We've been able to take advantage of the licensing for Backup Buddy to include it in the WP Toolkit membership. So our users get the latest version included in their membership at no extra cost. And that's just one of the dozens of premium plugins and hundreds of premium themes included in WP Toolkit, along with hundreds of tutorial videos covering all aspects of setting up and using WordPress, making it a true one-stop shop and resources membership for any WordPress blogger. Check it out for yourself when you get the chance to see how you can benefit from a WP Toolkit membership. Thanks for watching.